There's a moment in every man's life when he realizes something doesn't add up. You're doing everything right. You're showing effort, loyalty, attention, yet somehow, the harder you try, the further she pulls away. That confusion hurts more than rejection because no one ever explains why. But what if the truth is the opposite of what you've been taught? What if the men women chase are not louder, nicer, or more available, but calmer, grounded, and willing to walk away? Stay with me, because by the end of this, you may finally understand what's been silently working against you all along. Comment your location below so we know where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe for more real relationship psychology. When we talk about women chasing men, we are not talking about games or manipulation. We are talking about a deeper psychological dynamic that most people miss. A man who leads his own life sends a powerful signal without ever saying a word. His time has structure. His days have intention. His choices are guided by purpose rather than fear of being alone. This does not mean he is cold or unavailable. It means his identity is not built around being wanted, and that distinction matters more than attraction techniques ever will. Psychologically, people are drawn to what feels complete on its own. When a man is constantly seeking validation, constantly adjusting himself to be liked, it creates pressure. Even if he is kind, generous, and emotionally open, that pressure is felt. It shows up as over-texting, over-explaining, over-giving. Subconsciously, it tells her that he needs her approval to feel whole. Need repels, not because women are cruel, but because attraction responds to strength and stability. A man who is already fulfilled invites curiosity instead of obligation. Leading your own life also creates polarity. You have opinions, you make decisions, you move forward even when someone disagrees. This does not make you controlling. It makes you grounded. Women chase men who stand firmly in who they are because it feels safe. There is relief in being around someone who is not constantly shifting to be liked. Philosophically, this is about sovereignty. When you govern yourself, others respect your authority, even in relationships. Another important layer is scarcity, but not the artificial kind. Real scarcity comes from meaning. When your time is filled with purpose, it becomes valuable. When you can walk away from situations that drain you, your presence carries weight. Women sense this immediately. They feel that being with you is a choice, not an emotional obligation. And people chase what feels like a choice, not what feels like a guarantee. This is why men who are deeply engaged in their work, their growth, and their mission often attract without trying. Their focus is outward, not inward. They are not asking, "Do you like me?" They are asking, "Does this align with my life?" That subtle shift flips the dynamic completely. She begins to invest emotionally because she feels she has something to earn, not something to manage. Leading your own life is not about ignoring women. It is about not abandoning yourself for attention. When you respect your own path, others instinctively follow your lead. And the truth is simple, but uncomfortable for many to accept. The moment you stop chasing approval and start honoring your direction, attraction stops being something you seek and starts being something you allow. After a man leads his own life, the next thing that changes everything is how he handles her emotions. Most men believe attraction grows by doing more texting, more reassurance, more chasing, but emotionally intelligent men understand something different. Women do not chase men who overwhelm them. They chase men who make them feel emotionally understood. And those two things are not the same. At a psychological level, feeling seen is one of the deepest human needs. It goes beyond compliments or attention. It is about presence. When a man listens without interrupting, without rushing to fix, without turning her feelings into a debate, he creates emotional safety. Safety is not boring. Safety is grounding. It allows her nervous system to relax. And when that happens, emotional attachment begins to form naturally. Most men panic when a woman pulls back emotionally. They respond by pushing harder, explaining more, or demanding clarity. What this does, without realizing it, is communicate anxiety. Anxiety creates pressure. Pressure creates distance. A man who understands emotional dynamics does the opposite. He stays calm. He remains centered. He does not take her emotions personally or try to control them. That calm presence becomes magnetic because it feels rare. Philosophically, this is about restraint and awareness. Just because you can speak does not mean you should. Just because you feel something does not mean you need to act on it immediately. Emotional maturity is shown through timing. When you give space without resentment, you show strength. When you respond instead of react, you show leadership. Women chase men who can hold emotional space without being consumed by it. Another critical piece is curiosity. Emotionally intelligent men ask questions that invite depth instead of defensiveness. They are not interrogating, they are genuinely interested. This makes a woman feel valued as a person, not pursued as an outcome. When she feels understood rather than analyzed, she opens up more. And the more she opens, the more emotionally invested she becomes. This does not mean becoming passive or emotionally distant. It means being selective with your energy. It means expressing interest clearly, but not anxiously. It means knowing that attraction grows in the space between words, not in the flood of them. When a man can be present without needing constant reassurance, he becomes the emotional anchor in the interaction. Women chase men who allow them to feel their emotions without judgment, pressure, or urgency. Because in a world full of noise, the man who offers calm understanding stands out instantly. And here is the reflection to sit with. If you want deeper attraction, stop trying to be unforgettable with your words and start being unforgettable with your presence. The final piece of this puzzle is perhaps the most misunderstood. Women chase men who set boundaries and are willing to walk away. This is not about arrogance or manipulation. It is about self-respect and clarity. A man who knows his worth does not bend endlessly to gain approval. He defines what is acceptable and what is not as a threat, but as a declaration of who he is. That unwavering standard creates polarity because it shows confidence, not control. Attraction grows in the presence of certainty. Psychologically, humans are drawn to what feels rare and valuable. When a man tolerates everything or avoids confrontation to keep a connection, he signals a lack of inner strength. That lack of structure creates confusion and diminishes attraction over time. Conversely, when a man calmly enforces his boundaries, he communicates stability. He communicates that his time, energy, and emotions are finite and precious. That finite nature creates urgency, not desperation, but a magnetic pull that naturally draws women in. They sense that being with him is a choice, not a guarantee. Setting standards is also about integrity. A man who honors his principles, even when it's uncomfortable, demonstrates authenticity. Authenticity is the core of attraction because it shows he is grounded in reality, not fantasy. Women are instinctively attracted to men who are honest with themselves and with the world around them. They can feel the alignment between what a man says and how he acts. This alignment signals trustworthiness and reliability, qualities that are far more alluring than charm or superficial effort. Walking away is the final, decisive gesture. It is not done as a threat or out of anger. It is a natural extension of knowing one's worth. When a man can walk away without panic or emotional turbulence, he demonstrates that his value is not dependent on anyone else's acceptance. This willingness forces clarity in the dynamic. It allows women to see the reality of the situation without projection or manipulation. They respond to a man who prioritizes himself because it challenges them to respect, pursue, and invest emotionally in a way they cannot with someone who gives endlessly without limits. Philosophically, this principle speaks to the law of self-sovereignty. Attraction is never built on pleading or compliance. It is built on presence, integrity, and the quiet strength of a man who refuses to compromise his core identity. Setting boundaries is not rejection. It is an invitation for connection on terms that honor both people. It creates space for genuine desire to grow naturally rather than artificially. The truth is simple but rarely embraced. The men women chase are not those who chase them. They are the ones who honor themselves first, who create emotional space, and who maintain standards without apology. If you take nothing else from this, remember this: your worth is magnetic. Stand firm in it and watch how the world, and the people you want most, begin to chase you naturally.